And, you know, let me start off with a story. I was sharing with some of the young folks earlier about how important it is to get A's and how important it is to have dreams of doing things, you know, when you're a little older. But I was once in a similar situation, just like many of you. I grew up in a housing project in Richmond, Virginia. At a very young age, my mom passed away. She died of breast cancer. And so I had a lot of challenges in my life. But one thing I did have is I had people who cared. I had Boys and Girls Clubs. Back in those days, they just called it the Boys Club. But I had people like Mr. Cass, and I had leaders like the leaders who I've talked about who really cared about me. And one of the things growing up in that club, I learned a love for reading. I learned a love for doing well in school. What did I say? It's not just about going to school, but it's doing well in school. What did I say? Learning and getting what? A's. That's right. You want to get A's. And that's what I learned from those mentors at that school. They expected me to go to college. They expected me to do well. And again, I learned that love for learning and that love for doing well at the club because I had people who believed in me. And I want you guys to know, again, you are the reason why we're here, that we believe in you the same way. We really do believe that you're going to do everything that you say, that you're going to be that NBA player, and then you're going to be, you know, whatever. You know, I got somebody who's going to be a football player, and then a scientist, and someone who's going to be all kinds of things. We believe that you can do all of that and even more. And we know that the childhood experiences that you are going to experience here at the club are going to enrich your lives and build a foundation for you that are going to help you to move on and do great things. Supporting our youth and helping them to achieve academic success, it's a core belief at our company, at Cox Communications. We believe that doing things like this, providing affordable internet access, is the first step in achieving a digitally active and engaged community. And it's a critical foundational step in helping young people to excel academically and later as they pursue those dreams and enter the workforce. Here at Cox, supporting broadband adoption programs across the country is something that we have been committed to for some time now. More importantly, we're committed to doing it in a way that connects the most vulnerable members of our society, our children, so that they can compete and have a greater chance in being successful in this digital world where we have to compete. We've all heard the statistics about how children who don't have access to internet in their homes, that how they are disadvantaged at school. They fall behind their peers. And we believe that no child should fall behind simply because they do not have access to digital technology. And that's why this program, Connect2Compete, is so very important. It's also why Cox jumped at the opportunity to be the first cable provider in the entire nation to join the Connect2Compete partnership. Last year, Cox set up a pilot Connect2Compete program, and based on that success, we're pleased that families right here in Hampton will be able to access this incredible program, creating a level playing field for all of our children to succeed. And by working together with our partners, especially all of you that are here today, we're taking steps toward bridging the digital divide that we've all heard about. No one organization in our community, no one company can make all of this happen. It takes many partners to make a broadband adoption program possible. The Connect2Compete program is bringing together top companies like Cox and others and experts across industries to enhance the educational experience of children and the economic prospects of their parents. I and Cox thank all of you for your support and your continued enthusiasm for this program. This has certainly been a team effort, and your commitment is very appreciated. And now it's my privilege to introduce Senator Mamie Locke. Senator Locke represents, again, Hampton Roads in the 2nd Senatorial District of Virginia. And before being elected to the state Senate, she served on the Hampton City Council and was mayor of Hampton from 2000 to 2004. As Dean of the School of Liberal Arts and Professor of Political Science at Hampton University, she truly understands the importance of access to education, and we're grateful that Senator Locke could be with us today. We're grateful for her outstanding leadership and her continued partnership. Please join me in welcoming Senator Mamie Locke.
Good afternoon. Come on, you can be a little bit more excited than that. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. All right, very good, because this afternoon is about you and about your being able to compete in this digital world and being able to access the internet so that it can help you with your homework and help you continue to get ahead and help you earn those A's that Mr. McCullough said that you have to earn. Okay, you understand that, right? You have to earn them from this day forward. Last year, I have a niece who's in Hampton City Schools. She's 10 years old, and she was having some difficulties with math. So I said, okay, let's just go and see what we can look up on the internet to see what we can do to help you. So we found this wonderful website called iExcel, and she was able to go onto iExcel every day and do problems in the area in which they'd been studying that day, so that was assisting her. And it was such a wonderful website that I decided to pay for it for the next 6 years because it goes through the 12th grade. And we would not have been able to do that had we not been able to access the internet in a way that was going to be supportive of what she was trying to do and also supportive in helping her to get ahead. So that's what this is all about this afternoon. Her name is Madison, so we want to make sure that this Madison is also successful in accomplishing her goals in school. I'll get the rest of your names later. So we certainly want to thank Mr. McCullough and Cox Communications. We want to thank Hampton City Schools. We want to thank the Boys and Girls Club for their support of this program because it is so important for you. And again, this is all about you this afternoon.
Thank you, Senator Locke. And now it's my privilege to introduce Delegate Ward. Delegate Ward represents the 92nd House District of Virginia. She took office in 2004 and currently serves on several key committees. And she is a middle school teacher and president of the Hampton Federation of Teachers. And in those roles, she clearly understands the key role that internet access can play in educating our students. And we're grateful that Delegate Ward is here, and we're also grateful for her outstanding leadership and continued partnership in making sure that our children are succeeding. Please join me in welcoming her. Delegate Ward.
Thank you, and good afternoon to you. Good afternoon. I wanted to see how you would say that now that Senator Locke had gotten you all warmed up. And we're going to try it one more time. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you, thank you. Now, I stand here and I look at all of you and I think back to the time when I used to go to the Boys Club down in Newport News. Can you imagine me going to the Boys Club? Well, the girls, I want you to know that I was a cheerleader down there for our team. We were the Bears. But you know why I was a cheerleader? Because they wouldn't let me play football. But ladies, we're going to change that. We're going to change that. But it is wonderful to be here today. And I know that it's hard for you to imagine me ever being at the Boys Club or ever cheering. Can you imagine how I did my homework without an internet? Your parents may not even remember this because I'm a lot older than they are probably. We didn't have internet. We barely had a computer. We had these huge monstrosities of machines called mainframes, and it was only the banks, big corporate offices, IBM, they are the ones that had it. But just for us, no. You know what we had? Encyclopedias. And that's if your family could afford it. Now, my family couldn't afford a lot, but we had a used set of encyclopedias. But with that used set of encyclopedia, it gave me access to a world of information that some of my classmates didn't have. And as I look back at that time, I know that those of us who had access to at least a And a set of encyclopedias did better in school because we were able to connect to an outside world. And that's what the internet is going to do for you. Now, with an encyclopedia, let me tell you how long it would take us to do one thing. Took us forever. Now, you can go online, and if you're connected to the internet, you can Google anything, get that answer just like that. With us, we had to go around, try to find the encyclopedia, and hope you had the most recent edition. I remember in the 12th grade doing a report. Now, this was in 1972, and I remember so well looking up something, and it said, "One day, man will go to the moon." But now, as soon as something happens, let RG3 do anything, and you will find out just like that. That's what it's like being connected. And that's the only way you're going to truly be able to compete in this world today. So I really applaud Cox Communication for what they're doing. I know that it's not only going to help you, but it's going to help your entire family, because so much information is right there online, not just to help you compete in school, but for your parents also to be able to stay informed. But again, congratulations, and I hope you do well.
Thank you, Delegate Ward. That was such a great analogy with the encyclopedia. We didn't have encyclopedias in my home. Thank God I had great folks at the Boys and Girls Clubs. At this time, I would also like to ask Dr. Shiflett if you would like to come up and make some remarks representing the school, since these, in fact, are all of your kids. So please welcome Dr. Shiflett.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I think, thank you. I think you now see why I truly love living and working in Hampton. The fact that we have a community that supports our young people it's so amazing to me. And Mr. McCollum, the fact that Cox has now joined us as a partner in making sure that we can really provide resources to our children. It truly is a big difference in a child's life, and it's going to be a big difference in my division's life, because we're really looking at expanding how we are able to give our children connections to the digital world. And we're looking at a one-to-one soon, which means every child having some kind of a digital device. And so now, like when Senator Locke's niece needs to look up something, I'll know that every child will have the opportunity to look up whatever information they need. So whether you're having trouble with math or science or English, or whether you just want to go on to some of the websites that we have where you can actually connect with your teacher and ask a question after school. These are all things that we'll be able to do and we'll be able to support for our children. So I'm so excited about what we are getting ready to embark upon, and am very hopeful that a year from now we'll be seeing our test scores continue to go up, and that when I come in here, you'll be all engaged with using whatever device you use so that you can connect and do your homework and do whatever kind of research you need to do. So again, I want to say a very special thanks to Cox. I also want to say a special thanks to our City Council and our legislators, who really do work so very hard for the children of Hampton, because young people, you're our future. You are going to build a better community for Hampton. Don't ever forget that. You're so very important to us. Thank you.
I've mentioned him already. Again, thank you, Dr. Shiflett. I've mentioned him already today. Steve Cox does a phenomenal job with our kids, and giving them a safe place, a place where they can make great choices, learn how to make great choices, and you do a phenomenal job. So at this time, please welcome Steve Cass, the head of Boys and Girls Clubs here on the Peninsula.
Hey everyone. I want to tell you that these are your friends. These are the people that are making a huge difference in your life. And just, I won't be very long, but just a few notes. Senator Locke, when she was a leader in the city of Hampton, which she still is a leader, but she's actually leading the state now, is the reason why you have this Boys and Girls Club. She led the effort to make sure it was here. This building was actually given to Boys and Girls Club by the city of Hampton because she advocated for you. So think about her every day when you're in here. And she also advocates for things at the state level for us, like tax credits, which mean nothing to you, but it helps people give to us so we can continue to keep the lights on and the wonderful staff that you have. Delegate Ward is a great advocate because of her past history, and I just made a phone call. We have a uniform, football uniform for you waiting down at Greater Hampton Roads. So check in down there today and we'll get you in. And thank you for advocating for all the things that you do. And Dr. Shiflett, she's been so generous to me to spend time with me to try to help and advise me as I lead Boys and Girls Club. So thank you for what you do, and thank you for your wonderful babies, as you put it. Thanks so much. Cox Communications has been a partner with us for over 2 decades. 20 years ago, approximately, they started the Connect2Kid program. Another way, they're a friend of yours, the Technology Center, that you go to and see Mrs. Ash every day, who helps you with your homework and helps you connect to the internet, is here because Cox started that initiative. I like to tell people that when you're paying your very modest bill to Cox Communications, you're making a donation to Boys and Girls Clubs because their support of us is so incredible. And it's millions of dollars that they put in to Boys and Girls Clubs, just our organization alone. So tell your families, all your friends, they're paying their cable bill, their internet bill, but they're actually supporting their local Boys and Girls Clubs. They've been a catalyst of our growth, but they care for each and every one of you. You're representing your 20-some kids, I don't know, I didn't count, but you're representing over 6,000 kids in 15 Boys and Girls Clubs here on the peninsula and Northern Neck, 3 cities, 3 counties, and they care about you and each one of those 6,000 people. And I just couldn't help but notice the Connect2Kid program 20 years ago, Connect2Compete. I think the key word is connect, and it's not only connecting you to the internet, but connecting you to people who care about you. Gary, thank you for being such a strong advocate for Boys and Girls Clubs and for each one of these young people.
Thank you, Steve. If you could stay up, and I would also like to ask Dr. Shiflett and John Eagle to please join me at the podium here for a second. We do have some certificates we want to, as I mentioned, this is a partnership, and I'm just going to read one of these because it's so important for the schools. In order for Connect2Compete to work, it really is a partnership with the schools. You know these kids, and you don't just know what they're doing academically. These teachers, as Delegate Ward knows, they know what's going on at home. They know what's happening and what's not happening, and they know the resources and the resources that are not in those homes. And so it takes a partnership to really make Connect2Compete work. And so to Dr. Shiflett and to John, I'm just going to read one of these, but it says, Cox, Virginia, Connect2Compete champion. To Dr. Linda Shiflett, to John Eagle, for his and her partnership and dedication to broadband adoption, to delivering a digital opportunity to all children. Together, we are one step closer to bridging the digital divide. So, John, thank you for your leadership and support of this from an IT perspective. And Steve, again, Steve mentioned, this is one for Steve as well. Steve mentioned that Cox has a technology room here where you access the internet and you're able to get online. But what we're doing now is we're taking this technology to your homes. We're giving you access to that because, again, we don't think that any child should be left behind in this digital world that you're going to be growing up in. So again, Steve, thank you for your leadership. So with that, I think we're just about at the point where we're going to have a ribbon cutting, but we're not going to do the traditional ribbon cutting because we're talking about the digital age. So we're going to do a virtual ribbon cutting. And if I could ask Emma Inman, our Director of Public Relations, to join us. And if I could ask all of our leaders who joined us, Senator Locke, Delegate Ward, Dr. Shiflett, Steve, if you could join us. John, if you want to come up as well. We're going to do this digitally. Why don't you get in the middle? I'll get me on. And I think if we do this right, if we all just put our finger here, the ribbon should cut. All right. So again, thank you all leaders for being here today, and to the young folks, you have a ton of people in your camp who care about what you are doing. Work hard. Don't just go to school to learn, but to do what? Get A's. Do the best you can, because we're counting on you that when you're in a position like us, you want to be giving back to those kids who are going to be following you. Okay? Can you do that? All right. Thank you, guys. Take care of you guys. Study hard. Do we have time for a photo? Hey, Steve. There.
I'll hide myself in the back. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. Y'all are wonderful. Thank you, Gary. I appreciate it. Take care. Randy's been great.
He's a good man.
Yeah, we had
He's a
lunch
good man.
together and sort of got our.
You know, let me know kind of what's going on statewide. Because, you know,
I've been remiss in getting a meeting together, and that's all my fault. And we're going to circle back with everybody. I've had my hands full.
and I'm not asking for a meeting. The thing I need to know is when I'm in meetings with, I was in a meeting with Tommy Norman before I came here. I'm talking to him about a lot of other things, but I want to make sure that I'm able to say what I need to say about the games. That's
I need some leadership there. I do need. We've talked about the right people and all that. I just got to get myself together. I took on a role I didn't have time for. You know how that goes. But I'll get you some information.
We do need to statewide efforts.
Tommy helped us last year put some stuff through, and maybe we could get him to do the same this year.